expanding west of 163rd, which is currently a one-way going east, to make it a more viable solution. And I guess I have a question here that the Transportation Department can answer, and if they've entertained this as an idea. Also within my new criteria was only one route proposed from the Transportation Department requested by Council. That's another question I was unclear about because I came back with just one solution for you. I would also like to ask the question of the Transportation and Planning Departments. Currently the city has increased the allowable densities in mature neighborhoods with the Cornerstones Initiative, which allows secondary suites in most single-family dwellings. In this direction, does the city envision rezoning of most properties that front major arterials in the future 20 years in efforts to make the urban core more compact? And I'll ask this to address the feeling by some that this route is really the outcome of affluent, not in my backyard people resisting a change in density and zoning in their neighborhoods. I feel that the zoning on the other proposed RDs will be happening anyway, and only those changes may be 20 years away, so this is really just speeding up the process. I see my time is up, so I'll just close out and just say 87th Ave is also a good candidate, because if we look into the future with zoning, that could be built up just as easy as Stony Plain could be. And I'm hoping that you guys make a decision based on the future, not on pressure from existing groups that are lobbying you to have it not in your backyard. But we need a decision. Planning issues are at stake in the revitalization area, so it would be appreciated.
Thank you very much. No questions. Our next person is Mr. Kenneth Sloman. I've got Wayne Jackson after that, and then I've got Mary Cameron, and then Bridget and Gerald Steele. I don't know, one of them will speak, I guess. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Sloman.
Mayor Mandel, councillors, administration, and members of the public, thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak. Can you imagine my surprise? There were 3 alternative routes that were put forward for connecting Edmonton West by LRT to downtown. None of them were chosen, rather Stony Plain Road. You know, 87th Avenue, I think, is the more logical choice. However, if you must use Stony Plain Road, I request that you reconsider the portion that is between 142nd Street and 124th Street. The City Council approved evaluation criteria notes potential for commercial redevelopment. This will not apply whatsoever to Stony Plain Road between 142nd and 125th Street. And the main reason is that in the past there was foresight by Mr. Carruthers, who developed the Malcolm Grote farmlands and homestead, and he put in a caveat on those lands. And that caveat precludes commercial development in perpetuity in favor of remaining a residential neighborhood, and that's why Glenora and area is so beautiful. There would be no LRT stations for 20 blocks in that segment of 142nd to 124th Street. The benefits to Glenora are therefore peripheral, and the disadvantages are substantial. While the design and construction phase may later address specific community access, it's already apparent that the recommended route for the community south of Stony Plain Road from Grote Road Bridge to 125th Street has no alternative traffic access option. They all must, when they go into their places, come out on Stony Plain Road. That includes 3 hidden driveways, 3 cul-de-sacs. This is Woodburn Place, 8 homes, Glenora Point, 10 homes, Sylvancroft, 3 homes, and then also 127, 126, 125th Street, Villa Avenue, 104th Avenue. And there are probably 60 homes in that area, over 100 units of residential, apartments rather. They all must come back to Stony Plain Road. So the reason for these no-exit, dead-end, hidden driveways, cul-de-sac streets and avenues is, of course, the presence of Grote Ravine and Grote Road to the south of Stony Plain Road. I cannot see how administration would not consider that in advance, and why did that part of the proposal to begin with?
doesn't make sense. With the presence of an LRT corridor, traffic across Stony Plain Road, left turns into and out of these cul-de-sacs and streets would be near impossible, even if it is permitted with the LRT present. But of course, an alternative route to Stony Plain Road between 142nd and 121st Streets provides many more advantages. I hope that this will be considered. For example, you would take Stony Plain Road, you would continue north to 107th Avenue from 42nd Street. You could use 149th Street if you want. The 142nd would pass your commercial redevelopment at that location. 129th Street would use the city-owned right-of-way that's right beside it. Then from 107th Avenue, you would travel east right to the former CN rail line, which is a multi-use corridor that could take you south from 107th Avenue. And that's just before you get to the Edmonton Cemetery. Now, the 107th Avenue reach has a wide corridor. It's meant for transportation expansion. It has two adjacent service roads, and additionally, it has a median. It would not affect the traffic flow there at all. Whereas if you use Stony Plain Road, you're going to divert traffic flow onto 102nd Avenue, and of course, Stony Plain Road is going to be just terrible. So the advantages of relocating to the LRT to 107th Avenue, it avoids the most constricted portion of the route. It will not exacerbate traffic flow on Stony Plain Road. It passes all the identified potential redevelopment areas. It uses existing right-of-ways that is meant for transportation expansion, eliminates the need for a new bridge on Grote Road. It provides additional opportunity for redevelopment along 107th Avenue. So given the current traffic congestion on Stony Plain Road, the advantage of this proposed route modification is likely to cost no more.
The time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cruchot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, you mentioned the Carruthers caveat that was registered in 1990, and your submission indicates that it prohibits commercial development between 142 and 125 Street. So you're saying that's still in effect today, and so that basically makes it impossible for any commercial development in that section?
It does. There could be some allowed on north of Stony Plain Road. However, it's all residential currently. Except when you get closer to 124th Street, there's maybe half a block or a little more that could allow some commercial development. That could happen already anyway if you put it on 121st Street, from what I'm suggesting, as a peripheral benefits.
Yeah, it doesn't permit any type of residential, so it doesn't have to be a single-family home residential. Or do you know?
Yes, it does. It does. It's supposed to be single-family. There might be one or two duplexes, and I tell you, in a community that size, that's about all it is. Just a few.
Okay.
Duplexes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that information.
Thank you.
I'll ask questions about it.
No further questions. Thank you. Our next, Mr. Jackson.
Can I use this? Oops. Okay. My name is Wayne Jackson. I do not live anywhere near the proposed route. I want to express concerns about it nevertheless. The concerns are about the long line length, which leads to excessive costs, and of course the surface routes that impair roads, traffic, and some property very substantially. Everyone says, not my backyard, and I'm trying to come up with something that I think we should think about. Suggestion: why don't you have a shorter line with an express feeder bus system? And I am suggesting taking the line from the JP Transit Center, which I believe is the right place, and go downtown to Churchill via Corona using the tunnel. Such a line, of course, has got some very heavy construction costs, about $200 million per kilometer, but because it's shorter, the actual cost comes in between the university line cost last year and the Grant MacEwan College, Grant MacEwan line